Oh, it's Bashalach. I said Yisrael.
I brought Rosh Hashanah.
Did I say Yisrael?
You said yesterday, yeah.
Hey, sorry about
It's
that.
easy, Yisrael, eh?
What is Yisrael?
No,
Oh, okay.
Well, down, Parshas Yisrael, yeah.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
Bell said we make a podcast. I should put a recorder. I said, yeah, it's okay.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay,
It's
I don't
such a
have
free country.
I don't have my phone to pick up. Yeah, well, there it is.
Vine, Apim Maimer Azal.
Which page?
Page
Lamed
Lamed
Aleph.
Aleph. Apim Maimer Azal. Page Gimel. We said just the order, when they get to what he said last time, that there has to be a tzimtzum in order that from the first day of the year should go into the rest of the year, just like from Shechim and Mishneh by the Oren to come to the rest of the world. So it's actually the tzimtzum is in order to come to the rest of the world. That's the tzimtzum. Not the tzimtzum is. Although it says tzimtzum was Mishneh by the Oren, but it's mashma that the ikar tzimtzum is go from by the Oren to the rest of the world. Not the tzimtzum being Shnei by the Oren, and that here it's not mashma like this, but in the other maimer it's mashma like that.
The other mimer is that mimer?
Yeah.
Oh,
The one that Rebbe said.
It's mashma that the ikar tzimtzum is to become from being by the Oren to the rest of the world. Others are from Rosh Hashanah to the rest of the world. Rosh Hashanah is the highest time in the world, highest time in the year. I mean, so from there to come to the rest of the year, every regular day of the year has to go through a tzimtzum. Whatever. So he says everything comes through a tzimtzum. So Bechlal the Bris Yom says through a tzimtzum. Then there's a tzimtzum before tzimtzum Rishon is also tzimtzumim. It goes weiter now. Vina Apim Maimer Azal Bereshis B'Shvili Yisroel Shni Bereshis. Chazal tell us that Bereshis means B'Shvili Yisroel Shni Bereshis. Bereshis calling Yonim B'Shvili Yisroel. The beginning of everything is for the Yid. And you move on Shekol in Yeriba Tzimtzum of B'Shvili Yisroel. So it says that the beginning of everything is for the Yidden. So it's understood that the whole concept of the many tzimtzum that there exists is all for the Yid. Like it's explained in Tanya being Tachlis called tzimtzumim. What's the goal of all tzimtzumim of the whole Seder Shtalshlis? Everything is for the love of the person down here to elevate him to Hashem. Like you know, no matter what, a person is mitzvah himself for another person. Or for himself, he wants to save his life, he'll put himself into, he'll squeeze himself up just in order to save his life. Therefore, also these bonus in the details of the tzimtzumim. It's explained the Shayach of the Mittel Rebbe Shetzrichim was being Gamet Prati in Yonim. The Mittel Rebbe writes that Bechlal everything has to be a Yidiyah Pratis. The whole Seder Shtalshus has to be a Yidiyah Pratis, and tzimtzumim also has to be a Yidiyah Pratis to know exactly all the tzimtzumim how many they are. Especially when you finished last Sif that there's many tzimtzumim. In every tzimtzum there's many tzimtzumim. So he says this has to be this bonus that I see the Eibishter from my flesh. He thinks about these concepts the way they are in the person. You are called man because you're similar to the Eibishter. And through this, through the Odom, Adam L'Elyon, that's for I could see the Eibishter. So he was that through the person thinking into himself, all something that he goes through in his nefesh Odom, understand about L'mayla. It's very interesting. Over here, the Rebbe is demanding that he should have these bonus in Mipsari Echzelika. Because in the Sikhe, someone asked, the Rebbe mentions that when gefragt, what's the chiddush of the Alter Rebbe that there's tzimtzum lifted tzimtzum arishin, the chur it's a dover aposhel, so not Mipsari Echzelika. And the Rebbe answered, said, Mipsari Echzelika is good for lachra tzimtzum, for Seder Shtalshus, but lifnei Seder Shtalshus, l'mayla not tzimtzum. You can't say there's a cloud like that. But over here, the Rebbe is saying Mipsari Echzelika even on the tzimtzum before the tzimtzum arishin. So I'm not sure exactly how to explain this.
Where does he say that? It's a 40.
He said in last sketa. Shein of Shors Lemtzis Eilumis, Harizal Achar Kam V'Kam Tzimtzum V'Kam V'Kam Eilumis. You see? In the middle of his base. Gebur Protis, Shein Shlat Marazoka, and this he says, since it's Bereshit Shrisol Shtikar Reishis, everything's for a Yid, so all this Tzimtzum is for the Yid. Fine. Therefore, also these bonus and all these inyan has to be in a way of me. I should see the Eibusha from my own flesh. Which inyan, which in these Tzimtzum, which we mentioned before in the last sif. I don't know the beer. If Zogdish can be on it, was talking about the Shilas.
Somebody asked in the Sikha about for bringing.
Someone asked by in the artist of Morris.
Oh, okay.
One of the Mashpim. Alena Shalom. I think. Yeah. So he asked in the Sikh, what's the Pella? The Rebbe says, I'm gefragt, the Shok V'Torah also. So I don't understand. If the Rebbe himself said, and the Sikh also, the Rebbe will say, whatever. Bino, the Eibusha made many tzimtzum through many worlds. Nor she unite with the person. Because the person the way the Eibusha is cannot handle the Eibusha. Not only that the person should be able to handle the air, should be able to unite with the air. Like it's explained over there at great length, and especially in the Mamar from the Rabbeim, explaining this Maimer from the Baal Shem Tov. Especially more detail that's explained in this one from the Rav Magid. He brings over here from the Kutei Amorim and the Teira. It seems to me Hashem is work of Yochas Beirusei Kedimin Ova Mitzamtzum Esichle Medaber Divrei Katnas B'Shul Bnei HaKoden. At the Eibusha Mitzamtzum his openness, his klorkeit, his behirus, like a father which mitzvah seichel to speak to small things with his small child. The gam kol midas ma'asenaris ne'lodim ba'av. Also, all emotions for small talking mizak. Kleine Sachen. The father starts getting excited about these small things. She'evis ma'asenaris de'shiyilo ben tainu. He ignites within himself a avet these small things in order that the child should have a geschmack in it. And sheyesh kvar mitzvah shel ben, which means that there's already a mitzvah of a child. More than that, he's a mitzvah of a small child. She's only nar Yisrael, nar daike. When you say nar Yisrael v'aveu, there's nar. Shemei alina katnus is in of cotton. Atam amat mikol amim. I guess here he's scratching the word of amat is in of katnus. Mitzad zagufa, and this is their cotton v'aveu. That's why I like them. Nar Yisrael, therefore ve'aveu. Not despite the fact he's not. Because he's not, therefore ve'aveu. And for him, the Eibusha mitzamtzum is behirus. A lot of places it says, Atam api kol ha'amim, and you're not more important than all the nations. Therefore, the Eibusha likes them. Le'mi rubchem kol ha'amim, choshka v'ayvchem, ki atam api kol ha'amim. Here he says, despite the fact that they're not, they're katnus, still the Eibusha is mitzamtzum behirus. Ge'ava d'chak tzabosik kanal. Mitzad zeh nasa tzimtzum v'kol inyan shel l'mayla. And from this causes the tzimtzum from all the inyan that there is l'mayla. Heichel me'atzmus amos. Starting from the essence of the Eibusha. The Eibusha made a tzimtzum from atzmus should come to eir shel l'ifnei tzimtzum. Ad shem shchei kam tzimtzum der kam eilumus k'mishkot lashon Baal Shem Tov. It will come through many tzimtzum, like through many eilumus like lashon of the Baal Shem Tov. Eitzis. Shat tzimtzum poel shegam ha'ov eisik ma'aseh katnas. Not only that he made a tzimtzum that he should come to the child, he makes as if he should be involved with the ma'aseh katnas of the child. He has pleasure from what the child is doing. Is mashma that the father is here on the level of the child. And even though he's the father, it sounds like a
hefam atmos and was
no, from Atmos, the erste Sache from the Rebbe says in the next Maimer, he says the first level from Atmos is Gerav Zena Tzimtzum. From Atmos, all this become the first level is already a Tzimtzum. Calls when they get Beaker, Lamaisa Vapay, Lamaisa Iker, B'chos, when saying, well, Lamaza Tachna, Shitach, Lamatim, this, and they get Beaker. Maisa Vapay, which is a Maisa, Ho Iker, acts and deeds. This world, which is nothing lower than this world, Shoshon means a Nar Yisrael. Here is where the Nar Yisrael is found. For him was all these Tzimtzum. So So this is again, myself, we should know that the Eibishter made all these tzum just to come in touch with us. Making so to true can be in Russia about Shon. Speak about that about Rosh Hashanah. Shamshach me'amal kol Shana kuli idea tzimtzum kanal. See again, he says that I'm shach from the Rosh Hashanah to the rest of the years through tzimtzum. Al Rosh Hashanah lil shabola basev, which comes the last thing in the Mishnah. But they say the betedigam hu tereveira. Order in Ted is also the main thing is our actions. What is the in? What's our actions when it comes to Shana Turishvat? The in is Shana Ilon Kol Shurim Adam Eitz Asod. Shana Ilonis is connected with the Adam Eitz Asod. The Koyal Bnei Yisrael, which is referring to Yidden. Yidden are connected with Eitz Asod. Atam Kurim Adam, Hashem Adam Elyon. You're called Adam because you're compared to the Eibishter. Bnei Yisrael Guf Koyal Adam Eitz Asod Al Talmud Chacham. In Yidden himself, who are we referring to when we say the Adam Eitz Asod? It's referring to the Talmid Chachamim, the Yidden. This is the Gemara Shazar Yisrael V'Ter, which is the advantage of Yisrael and Ter together. Shul Yisrael Shnikra Reishus, Shul Ter Shnikra Reishus. Amash Shnikra Eitz Asod, there is a Lefi Shikra Eitz Asod, mi Bamid Shalei. Why is this called Eitz Asod? Why is the Talmud Chacham called Eitz Asod? Because the main Aved of a person is in his midas. The whole Machlekes ones with the Mashpiyim, with the Bochrim. What's the main thing of the person? His Meichen or his midas? So the Bochrim was saying the main thing is the Meichen, because Miles Adam is the Sefer. And Mashpiyim were telling the Bochrim that the Ikar is the midas. See over here? But here he says a different reason. He says over here why. Shebem yochel avda v'dosa b'shleimus. B'shengem negel l'meichin, shleimus aveda b'zeh tiyah lo'osid lo'osid.
Ikar avodas ha'adam is b'midas shleimus. Nish as ikar as...
The Ikar
as
from
the
the
ikar
mensch.
for a mensch is a midas, or the...
I know here he says a little different.
Das
He
is
says
an
Ikar
aveda.
aved is the midas, yeah. But that he should transform his midas, that they should be according to his seichel. But that machlekes was regarding to the etzem ador. What's the main part of the person? Zok ta mensch da kluger, so da feiner. What's the gear, the ikar?
Where's the Machlekes?
So, Rביעי wants to talk anyways. This is just like the midas are like the El Matzimeach. But the same no, Tzrichlius Eivna Aveda the Mailam Bakedesh. In Aveda, we have to always strive to become more and more. Shuin Smichat Midas, a constant growth. That's the idea of the Adam Eitz Asod. And of this, there is a day in the year Shnikra B'Shem Reish Hashanah. This causes that every day of the year to be able to be the concept of growth. What in the growth should be recognized. This is not stama growing. This is growing of Adam Eitz Asod and Shnikra Yetz Adam Alel. You could firstly see that is Adam Alel Shem Nikra B'Shem Adam. And this thing that is Adam Alel and his Eitz Asod, he grows, and this thing that is more and more compared to the Eibishter. Was the word that the chiluk of Kabbalah and Chassidus that Kabbalah makes in the Eibishter a mensch. Chassidus makes from the mensch Eibishter. It says the Lashon, the Rebbe brings in the Memoir from Yitzhak Kislev and Chanukah, and Tosh Chavov, the Rebbe says that he brings from Rabbi Shab that Keches Tivim Naisim Keches Elokim. That's the in of a Chassid. Whatever, yeah. This is going to make hasten quicker the Gula. That the one who is plowing will meet the one who is cutting the tfuah. There'll be such growth, so fast, so hasty, that right after you're plowing, right when you're putting the seed in the ground, it's already growing up. Gab's a nice idea. This is caused by our Aved in the way of Jesus. Like that, the Alter Rebbe shows great value of the yin of Jesus. This is what sustains us. There's a pale. This causes Shagulam Zashem to be able to through our Aved in the name of Jesus, because the Gulam Zashem should be also quickly a room and Anishmaim. Ma'aser Iker Shtia Gul Be'im Mahaza Agashmi Be'im Shalmamish Shechim Lamash should be a day. The main thing is that Mashiach should come. We should be able to tap with the hand. Making Gamin Agela Yil Nilka the Vayvrok of Osa Yachtov. Also, in regard to the promise that the Eibush will be revealed and the flesh will see. Won't even need the eyes to see it. The flesh will feel and see the power that makes calls even made a mob should be very soon in our days. Like the Hashem Golom Mitzvah Shlem, the Mishus Kenim will go down through the hastiness in the Golom Mitzvah Shlem, through Mishus Kenim in our quickness. Okay, we'll go weiter wie Shmei Yisrael. Okay, Lamed Dalet.
Whatever you think.
Yeah. Yishma Yisrael came in the case of Meshus Kol Shosel Kum Meshus Rolam Kids of Israel in Mitzrayim.
In short, what's the
takeaway of our Baruch Hashanah?
Yeah, what did it add? Like, you know?
It added that there's many tzimtzum and it's all for us.
And
it's all happening for us. The first man didn't speak on it's happening for us.
Okay.
So Bechlal, that there's tzimtzumim and the Eibush is here, and the Eibush is more here than anywhere else. Here he's more speaking about that we should know that Eibush Mitzamsi wants to relate to us, as Shaykhus to us. It's a little different. What's exactly the advantage makes?
Okay.
We can figure it out.
And could you say this one or not yet?
What's going to happen in this moment? I don't know.
No. Okay. Right.
You want to know?
Only if you.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yishma Yisrael came.
He wants you to come next week too.
Help me to focus.
Yisrael heard what the Eibush did to Meisha and Yisrael Amei. Who is Yisrael over here called? Came meeting Chesen Meisha. What did he hear? That the Eibush took the out of Mitzrayim. Pirish Rashi Mashmo Shomo Bo Kriyas Yamsuf. The first thing he heard by Yishma Yisrael, Rashi already says he heard Kriyas Yamsuf. So love. Ma in Kriyas Yamsuf lakam. What's all Kriyas Yamsuf da? What is the connection with Kriyas Yamsuf over here? Gam to Olam. The Parshas Medaberes b'Shoch Yisrael. This Parshas is speaking about the praise of Yisrael. She also met Milad Tel Midbar Shmei Divrei. He went from his birthplace to the Midbar to hear Divrei Torah. He came. Lo Nis Kirkanshu. Who came? And Hein He came. Lavid is also surprising. Mentioned over here that he was a Galach. Yes, Al came. More than that, it's not verstandig. Apim was called Chakach Chesen Meisha. That he was the Shver of Meisha. Shmash Shamalos. He said, "Delim Shal Meisha Rabbein." Shmash was greater than Meisha. A person is obligated to give honor to his Shver. Especially according to what Rashi explains. That there was a big honor that Yisrael got in that time. Why? And Meisha went out, and another Vavi also went out. Who was the one that could see all these people going out, and he shouldn't go out to also greet Yisrael? From this, I understood the mile of Yisrael, how great he was, and came to be Yeser. Lama Nisker Kanchu came me, and she came Lavid Zor. So why is he mentioned over here that he was a came Lavid Zor? Yeah. Gami do Adi was up there. Masazel Chokan Mashab Shasen Vam Shtov Shem Beis. Also, we have to understand the diuk. We have to know the diuk. It's known the diuk. Mashmash Shakos was called Shosel Kim Lameshel Yisrael Ame Keitz Hashem Yisrael Mitzrayim. For a double ash, why is he divided into two things? Whatever the Eibush did to Meisha and Eden, he took them out of Mitzrayim. It's one thing. What did he do to Meisha and Eden? He took them out of Mitzrayim. It's two things. Rashi writes that Vayishma Yisrael means that he heard Kriyas Yamsuf. Okay, Yishma Yisrael is also something for itself. So we have three things altogether. But Yishma Yisrael Kriyas Yamsuf. It's called Shosa or something else. Hate Hashem is the third thing. The Eibush took the Yidin out of Mitzrayim. So love Maltech Gimel Yonamel. What's the take on these three things? It's going to be a ruchlizik answer. Don't worry. Gam maybe Mashu calls it Bezer Parsha saying that the Das Yisrael Dafke brings the Maimer that they Matan Torah is Dafke through Yisrael's Hidah. How do you say Hidah in English? The recognition. You recognize that the Eibush, the Kshomi Yisrael, Ati Dat God Avayim Kol Lakimun. Yisrael said, now I know that the Eibush is greater than all other gods. Kedein is Talag Visyak Kuchabichu B'Yikor Eil V'Tata. Then the Eibush was revealed with his covered high and low. Lebasar Yoyv and then he gave the Torah. Medaik was a Medaik in this Maimer over there. And I'm based. Zetomua, Lama Midas Yisrael Dafka, he told him Matir. Why? In the Idah of Yisrael is dependent, the whole Idah Matir. What's so special about the Idah Yisrael? Yeah, this is the Nakud of this Maimer. What's the Idah Yisrael is connected with Matir. First, we have to explain what's the chiddush b'chal of Matan Torah. For this chiddush that Matan Torah had entailed, we had to have first the dos Easter. Torah was already existing in the world before the giving of the Torah. Why? Be'etzem Torah has a connection to the world. Why? 2,000 years before the world came around, there was a Torah. The fact that he says before the world's arrived, it has a connection to the world. Especially Chazal tells 2,000 years that it came before is a certain amount of time. This shows that even more so that it has a connection to the world. The eight days more than this. The besides the fact that also before creation, the world that shacks to the world, the Torah that shacks to the world, actually they learned Torah. Even before the giving of the Torah. Learning Torah, the say the Ibor, then was happening by Adam Rishon already. He gave this over to the generations after him. In more in detail, there was a concept of learning Torah by nation, by the Yiddish nation. It says in Gemara in Avram Zokum Yeshiv Yeshiva, Yitzchak Zokum Yeshiv Yeshiva, Yaakov Zokum Yeshiv Yeshiva. All the others were learning Yeshiva. Even in Mitzrayim, they were sitting and learning Torah. Amram was learning Torah. Instead of Mitzrayim, Amram was the man that commanded in Mitzrayim extra mitzvahs. Not only as the son of Amram, but also the man of Yisrael.
Was ist der Schnitztava mit seinem Mitzvah Amram?
I guess, yeah.
Was ist der Torah? Mitzvah
is part of Torah, no?
Yeah, I understand. So this is
yeah,
so alle mitzvahs is given nicht
nicht alle mitzvahs.
No, das heißt,
Avram keep called Torah Kulachel.
Right, yeah. Aber die mitzvahs von Amram Torah getan? Das ist
das kann nicht getan, aber nicht outside Zivui.
Okay. Okay, das ist es. Sie nach Chiddush, es gibt Zivui.
Ja, das Zivui, ja.
Sie werden Zivui Jochit, sie werden für alle.
Für alle.
Weil die gar mit Mann gesehen.
Zok Rama Michas Malach. Check. Yeah, Zok is Moshe Rabbeinu learned Torah. Not only learned Torah because he was the son of Amram, he learned it also because he was a man of Yisrael. He learned for 80 years. Moshe was already 80 years old. So we have to understand what's the chiddush of giving this Matan Torah. By the way, the Mustangim don't know this answer to this question. What's the chiddush of Matan Torah? That's why for such a chiddush of Matan Torah, you need to have Yisrael. You know, Rabbi goes this in many memorials. You need to do it. Matan Torah is exered al yenim l'tachtenim before Matan Torah there was exered. But the Alyenim cannot come down to Tachtenim, Tachtenim cannot go up further to the Alyenim. Matan Torah is Batla Gzeira. Matan Torah, this Gzeira was bought. The time had over. Before Matan Torah, Tax event Torah, but it was only Geluyim of Torah. The Bligvul of Torah, but it's Geluyim. Which because of the Torah Eid, B'chidush Matan Torah, Shenim Shcha Etzim, Shalamayla Min Geluyim, Chis Yoshos Cheshech Sisre. Ad Latzmus Imahusis Bora. What's this in that was given by Matan Torah? The Eibush is the Chimri given in Ganzen in the Torah. Eisiatam Leichim. You give the Eibush says, you have the Torah, Kivyochalim Kartim. I was sold with the Torah. You have the Torah, you have the Eibush. You have Anon Nafshik Sovis Yehovas. Obiri Yuvan Api Mashins Bala Bamamon Makedmim. The Chil is called Seder Shtalshus. So I did Tzimtzum. The beginning of the whole Seder Shtalshus was through Tzimtzum. The Eidzeh is not only this Seder Shtalshus through Tzimtzum. Shagam Eish Olifna Tzimtzum and the Bishvila Yitzorlis Gamkinin Tzimtzum. For that also there had to be a tzimtzum. Not only the Eish that tzimtzum should exist, there had to be also a tzimtzum for that. V'ad shegam ein achirishim yad achri atzmus u'mahus yizborach kiviyachol. The first thing after atzmus, hamash shayach leima ein zel gabi atzmus. Whatever it's shayach to say by atzmus, the first level after atzmus. What's shayach to say at first level? Yeah, is hamshachos say gam kaidei tzimtzum. The hamshach of this level is also through a tzimtzum. Zoma Shomer Azal, Achel Nivre Elo. Lamed Vav, yeah. Zoma Shomer Azal, Achel Nivre Elo, Yush Mekbel Vad. Says, before the world was created, the Eibush was Hu Shmekbel Vad. The Gam Kidei Sheyeh Inyan Hu Shmekbel Vad, Tzorch Lisin HaTzimtzum. Even for the concept of Hu Shmekbel Vad, it should be Shmei, it should be Hu. What Ratzach says, Hu is the Dage of Eir also. And it's Belvad Take. Aber das da, dem, darf ich kommen zu Zimtzum. Und Matatere nimmt Shlomato, in Shalifne HaTzimtzum. And Matatere came down here, the Etzim of the Eibush, the way before the Tzimtzum. Adam K'nis Yoshus Cheshach Sisre, the Eibush himself was before any Shleimar, the Zel, Mashem, is what we say in Davening, he might have Geiler, Mimne Cheshach, Cheshach Mne, that he takes air from Cheshach. So he says, the Kavanah B'zeh, what is Pshat Geiler, Mne Cheshach? He removes the air because of the Cheshach, and removes the Cheshach because of the air. He says, the Kavanah B'zeh, Lei Rakim, Vur B'mokamach HaPirish B'zeh. The Kavanah in this verse, in this Pasuk, in this Pisgam, in this part of this Bracha, is not only like it's explained in other places. I think from Zalman Zezman. It's explained, Pirish B'zeh, Shegeiler in Sof Shalifne HaTzimtzum, Necheshach HaTzimtzum. That he takes away the air in Sof Shalifne HaTzimtzum, he hides it because of the Cheshach HaTzimtzum. The Cheshach HaTzimtzum he takes away, he hides it in Meir HaKav. That's one touch. Yes, Alkein, more than this, the Geiler Necheshach Hainu, what's Pshat Geiler Necheshach? Sham Shochas HaEir, Mepchinas HaCheshach Shel HaMayla Me'er. Geiler, where does he bring out the air from? Mipnei Cheshach, from Cheshach. I don't know how Taich is weiter with Cheshach with the air, but he says Geiler Necheshach, that the air comes from this level of Cheshach. Mepchinas Yoshus Cheshach Sisi. Pi Akdam Azu, according to this Akdam. Shachid Jamateira Yigil, Mepchinas Yoshus Cheshach Sisi. What's the Chid Jamateira, the revelation of the Yoshus Cheshach Sisi? The essence of the Eibush, which is higher than Gilu, even got much lifted material. So who is those Yisrael? Now I understand why before material they had to be they do have Yisrael. Why need Yisrael should be made there? What's so important that you do have Yisrael? See, the answer is the Nexiv. It says in the Pasuk, Risi Ani Shlomo says, I see Sheyesh Yisrael Lachach Unasichus Gisner Min HaCheshach. Umavur HaPirush Bazeh the Yisrael Eir Min HaCheshach Davke. When you see the advantage of Eir Davke from Cheshach, and a day Bir HaCheshach when you mevar the Cheshach. Then you come to a greater level in it. Same thing is true. When you have bitter of the sichlos, then you got an advantage of chokhmah. Pirish sichlos kan. You have shalem shub kipshutim mamish sichlos like shtusa. Because my kamash shishis in the chokhmah sichlos. What's the chiddush that there's advantage of chokhmah over sichlos? Al kavan the sichlos shub erech chokhmah the gdush. Speaking over here about sichlos, which is better than chokhmah the gdush is chokhmah of lumazah. We're behind Shamaim Sichlos and Chachos Ritzenis. Nikras Sichlos Lisa do I have for Shmachach the Gdush Chachos the Klippa. Why is it called Sichlos? Because you know the difference between Chachos of Gdush, Chachos of Klippa, the Chachos of Gdush, Bittel, Chachos of Klippa, Tachsa Yeshes. Chachos of Gdush is Bittel, Mashen Chachos of Klippa is Tachsa Yeshes. The Kim Chachos of Klippa Vili Yeshes. Since Chachos of Klippa brings Yeshes, Chol Gei Sheit and Yeshes shows on Shtus. The Fikach Nikra B'Shem Sichlos. Therefore, to begin with, it's called Sichlos. Bitter sichlos, but if someone's mevar the sichlos and a chokhmah the clip, nice yisem by chokhmah the gdusha, there's an advantage of chokhmah the gdusha. The zayin idos yisur shamati yedayiti. Now I know what Yisur is saying. Now I know that the Eibush is greater. God lavayim mikol lekim. Ki Yisrael is kol avizor shebelim. He serving all the avizor in the world. Shazoyin chokhmah the clip. This is the ultimate chokhmah the clip. By there idos say nice yisem chokhmah the gdusha beid the gdusha. Through his idah, he realized, he recognized that the Eibush is the emes God. Is going to advantage of Choch the Kedusha, and the Kedusha was free and was not given. This Yisen, Choch, and Sichlos didn't exist before. Now we could explain why Dafka through his Idah was the revelation of Manteri. Revelation of Manteri is the level of Yoshus Cheshach Sisrei, the level of Lamayla. She's owing Yisen air. It's not the regular air. It's higher than air. Yoshus Cheshach Sisrei. The Gila Pchinazu Nasi Dafka de Bir Cheshach. How do you reveal this level of Yisneir? Dafka through Bir HaCheshach. Zoin Yisneir Min HaCheshach. How do you have advantage of air, a greater level in air? Dafka through Bir HaCheshach. The Yisneir who Shabbat Min HaCheshach Shalamayim Neir. Yeah, it's both ways. The Gila Pchina Zu Naisa Dafka de Bir HaCheshach. This Pchina comes Dafka through Bir HaCheshach. Zoin Yisneir Min HaCheshach. This is the Taj Yisner Min HaCheshach. Yisner Hu Shebom Min HaCheshach Shalamayla Meir. When does it get an advantage? When it's coming from the Cheshach which is higher than it. When does that happen? When the air is coming from simple Cheshach, Cheshach Napaleh, when you transform the Cheshach into light, when you transform the Cheshach into air, then you get the advantage that the Yisrael Techa Cheshach, there's two types of Yisrael Techa Cheshach. Or through Cheshach, you get a Yisrael in the air. What's the Yisrael in the air? Through the Cheshach, you get the mocker of the Cheshach, which is Lamayla Meir, should be Nizgala.
Yisrael is the Cheshach.
The Cheshach is the Yisrael, or it's the advantage in the Gilu, that it should be Nizgala, this Madrig of Cheshach.
You see the advantage of the Tzimtzum when you see the Gilu.
Huh?
You see the Mile of the Tzimtzum.
The mocker of, here he's saying the higher than any level of Tzimtzum. Higher than any level of Tzimtzum. Any level of air is the first.
It's Gilu, it's nicht Gilu, it's Choshech.
Yeah, it's a
But
Etzem.
it's a Choshech for them.
For Giluim, it's Cheshach. But in the Chur, it's the speaking. He said a few times that it's the Etzem. It's higher than any Tzimtzum. Not that it's that's the difference of this mind. We were asking what's the difference of every mind. Here, this mind, the Chur is saying it's not just the advantage of Eid itself, Lamayla and Iketz is saying that there's an advantage in Helam. That it's higher than the highest level of Tzimtzum, which that's in Lifnat Tzimtzum Guf. The first thing coming out of Atzmus is already a Hin of Tzimtzum. This is coming even higher than that. It's coming from the Atzmus. Heichel Atzmus Imolose, as he said. So Yisrael Cheshach has a double taich. The Yisrael comes from Cheshach through transforming Cheshach. Then you gain Yisrael Cheshach. You get the Cheshach of Yoshes Cheshach sister becomes Nizgal in the air. I said before, Geil air mipnei Cheshach, that the air comes from the Cheshach. Now we'll understand also why it says these two concepts don't work together. These two inyanim now it's understood. These two things we hinted the concept of Yisrael Menachesh B'Chachon Ki came midin Chesed Meisha Pirushay she'inyan. What's the pshat of came midin Chesed Meisha? Pirushay she'inyan zed came midin Dafke B'Chnas Chachon Lekut B'Chnas Yeshus. The Dafke the scene of came midin, which is Chachon the Klippe and Yeshus. Shani midin Melosh Modnum midin Melosh fights. This was transformed and became the ultimate high, the Chesed Meisha. The Chesed Lashon Chuz Darge, Chesed Lashon lowering himself down. The Chesed Meisha Pirush is Pauline the Chuz Darge being Yon Shal Meisha. What's that Chesed Meisha? That's a new type. Chesed Meisha is schwer from Meisha. What type is schwer from Meisha? The Chesed Meisha had gemacht as Meisha was corrupted. He made Meisha lower himself down. Through this, he was able to be Matan Teda, the giving of the Teda. And you read the Valyenim coming down Lamata down here. Shari Meish, or Amamutsa being Yisrael, Kuchabrichu Meish, was the middleman between Yidden and the Ebi Yisrael, or between the Yidden and the Teda. Meish, which allows me on the Lamai. But Mitzad Atzme, Meish is much higher. Shkoskin Amayim, Shisiu, came from a different Shemitah. In order that Mesh should be Chuz Darge, he should lower himself down to relate to the Yid. No, he's the one to affect it, to pale this thing. Now when he was in Midian, he was Mevatel David Zora. Who was Mevatel David Zora? Mesha Rabbein. In order that the Mesha should be able to be pale, that by Yisrael he should be Vatla with the Zora, Mesha had to have Yidid in his Madrege in order to be relatable to Yisrael. And this had an effect that eventually should become the Mutza for Mater to give the Tere to the Yid. Zomasha came Median Nepacham, is Chesed Mesha. That's what it says over here. That came Median became Chesed Mesha. that he's a pale the in matan terik. He's named the cheshach. He's nachach mit chasichus. That
Was
came.
kann sein, was ist jetzt Schluss, als geht in eine niedrige Tage von Israel? Ist er doch gewesen
Nee,
Jesus?
ich darf jeder sind der Madrege von Israel, die zu haben ein Spur auf Israel.
Ist er geworden, der Lohn?
Nein, es darf pale sein, also so oplosen, als einer wie die Sorte
Ja,
ist.
no.
Und ich dachte, haben einen Impact an ihm. Wie hat er gedacht?
Was gesagt, in was war er Zustand? Was meint das?
Nee,
Ich sag früher.
es hat Arzt gesagt, wenn man in einem Schissier, ich bin ein anderer Schmied, ich bin ein Sacheche.
Ja, no, aber
Dort ich darf da rauskommen und reden, zu haben eine Sprache mit Israel, eine Sprache.
no. Der Chilik, das sagt früher, also Koch mit Gdush und Koch mit das ist doch,
Bennerich.
ja, das ist.
Von deswegen soll er haben eine Sprache, man darf sich herabnehmen.
Als was? Was?
Also wenn beerke. Wo Shem ist bar, al der Gesetz und
Ich verstehe, er kennt werden, vielleicht ist er doch nicht Scheiches. Wie kann es sein, dass er sagt?
nicht scheiß bekommen.
No, ich meine, er passt das Sache, er sagt, aber das ist sehr gut.
Steht so, Moschel. Steht das Mensch gerät zu Pari. Wie hat Mensch gerät zu Pari? Mensch ist Zilla, ist ein Pari, ist ein Klippe, ich gebe mir kurz at Mei, ist, ja, Tana Gott, redet sich hier auf. Und dort hat Mensch gerät zu Pari, wie haben sie eine Sprache? Aber
Ich gucke, was ein Kedisch aus.
Ja, das Aaron noch gewinnt. Okay, aber es hat nicht so, selbe Sache.
der Kunde, also Zils redt mit Nummer so. Stovi, da muss man sagen, als Stovi ist mit Zadatzmei, es Muschel, gar mit Frau Scheichs mit Welt. Noch kann er auch nicht, er kann sich auch nicht. Er kann sich ja auch nicht. Er kann sich ja auch nicht. En is moegde. En is moegde in zijn opgetrunken van zich. Dat is dat zo. Dat is tracht. Je zegt, zegt de kaas is sterker dan de terrets.
Ja, aber sagt es Chus, Meisch, das Meisch geht immer, der Mirte,
Es kann sein, als je bald, als zijn boy, dat kunnen, darf me sacken zijn de Welt. Und das gepellt hem, als so wenn nicht in Jahren mit der Gosse.
The Pashas used in battle was there before Moshe came. The Yisrael was battle was there before.
A lot before or right before?
It was before.
Because that's what they
Should have
hated
been
they hated the daughters, yeah. The Smeisha goes on about it. The Alshach speaks about it also a lot. I love as after. If not for Yisra, he wouldn't be. Es kann sein als I don't know. No.
Same idea, like the Rebbe spoke to the mayor of New York. What was the shaykhs he had with the Rebbe?
Yeah.
The Rebbe found the words to relate to him.
Or the way the Rebbe spoke to everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, גם שפיר שש משהו שם בו קריס ימסוף, אני דדוס, he said, boy, the Kris Yamsuf. What caused Yisrael should be made there was Kris Yamsuf. Gam in Kris Yamsuf, Techno, Kris of Kias, called Tzimtzumim. Because Kris Yamsuf is also the same Techno is breaking of all the Tzimtzumim. After Yamsuf, Koyal, Sfiris HaMalchus. Although Yamsuf is referring to Sfiris HaMalchus, save for the Kol Dag, in the end of Almadreg is though Yamsuf Loshen Kate was safe. The end of our levels, when you do my Razal, Kris Yamsuf, Nivko Kol Ma'im Shebe'elam. It's known in my Chazal that in Kris Yamsuf, all waters were split. This is Bepashtas. There's a movement, Gam Bechol Sei Shtalshlis, Oz Nivko Kol HaTzimtzum, V'Mesochim V'Persois, Gam El Shalamaylam HaTzimtzum, V'Gam Lamaylam Mepchines Ein Sof, Lamaylam Mayla Adin Ketz. Here's the Pashta Pshat of Ein Sof, Lamaylam Mayla Adin Ketz. That Ein Sof Pashtas Blikvul Madreges. On all levels, Paul Shagam, he took away the Tzimtzum. Paul Gam Shagam Yisich, Chocha de Kupish, Taxi Yeshus, Hamaylam Master, Gam Hun Afach since it was in the big Kea, all the Tzimtzumim, all the laws that stayed him, so the Taxi Yeshus was also transformed into Kedusha. This is the basic Maimer. Now it's going to go the Maimer from the Deborah Shabbat. The details which I mentioned over here, what Yisrael heard, the Yishmi says, called Sha'asu Gamer. Hates a gamer. Varba Maim Shams explains in the Maim over there, the Shlem Shin Dal da Madrigs, there is Vikelim Levushim Becholis. There's Eris Kelim Levushim and Echolis. Eris Vikelim is the spheres, then is Levushim, I'll show you the Ramais, and Echolis is like a Heichel, a palace, a house, chamber. So he says these 4 levels. Kris Yamsuf is going to say Be'etzim Shalom Alam going to say Kelim. Kris Yamsuf is the level of Eir, which is higher than Kelim. Which also Kim Lameshal Yisrael Amis, and he slaps says Bekelim. This is already slaps says Bekelim. Mashkakos, Geis Avais Yisrael Mitzrayim, Zobchin Salavushim Be'echolos Kim Avur Hashem. Check it out yourself. I didn't check it out. The base list. Zav Yishma Yisra came in Chesim Meishes Kolash also Kim Lameshal Yisrael Amis, Geis Avais Yisrael Mitzrayim. The Agil, the Kris Yamsuf, that through the revelation of Kris Yamsuf, Sh'oz Nivku Kol Tzimtzumim. So he heard the Kris Yamsuf that all the Tzimtzum were broke. Ach is Nimshach B'Kelim Levushim V'Choles, till this was Nimshach and Kelim Levushim V'Choles. Days in Nefach Yisrael, Sh'oib came meeting Leis Chesim Meisha. This transformed Yisrael when he heard what's happening. That the alle Tzimtzum dreht sich über alle Tzimtzum bei Nivka. So he became Chesim Meisha. Ki is name nach Cheshach. V'zeh pol achar k'sa Gil Matan Teda. This caused already the Gil of Matan Teda, which Gil of Matan Teda is also the same idea. The breaking of all the Tzimtzumim and the revelation of the Etzim, which is higher than all Tzimtzumim. She Gil of Chnes Yoshus Cheshach Sise. L'mata mata b'il mazah atachtim. Down here in this world. In the Ateri, Nitzchas Teda is everlasting. Yesh nidin Matera b'chol yem v'yem. Matera is happening every day. Put the Teda b'mayim razal. Ma'alam b'yim v'yirim v'res v'zeh kan cholo. Sh'zal mishum shkam achshav yesh nidin Matan Teda. Why can you say that just like Matan Teda you learned Teda trembling, so we have to do it now? Because today is also happening Matan Teda. Sh'achshav means that well, it's hidden. L'oslov is gala, achieve goli, b'avonim asoga, we shall understand it. Mishkos v'nik v'vedavai v'rokum v'siyach v'kipir v'ayadibir v'gula mitzvah shtem v'dei v'shilsakim v'techsim v'tuv le'vov.
This year was chus the Yemaledes of Harav Shneur Zalman ben Harav Yisrael Yosef HaKohen Shnas Hatzlacha. The Gashmi is the Ruchnias. I want to wish him a l'chaim, and he shavad the Hatzlacha because his Hatzlacha is my Hatzlacha. It's in a real way. Chaim l'chaim. Okay, good. Chaim l'chaim. You know, one second.